Long before the events of Lord of the Rings, three elven clans used to live in peace in the Blessed Realms of Valinor. One of these clans, however, decided to leave their homes and travel east to Beleriand. Many elves have died during the event called Exile of the Noldor. Let me tell you what, or rather who, made the Noldor leave. After 300 years in prison, Melkor was called to an audience with the Valar. On the way to the mountaintop, he saw for the first time the happiness and glory of the children of Iluvatar. He saw their immense riches and beautiful houses. It filled him with indescribable hatred combined with contempt and jealousy. In front of the Valar, he begged for forgiveness and promised to help everyone for the damage he had done. The Valar released him, but he was to stay in Valinor. For years, Melkor pretended to be in love with all the Eldar. He treated everyone with respect, he acted beautifully, and his advice was always been of great benefit. Melkor noticed that one of the clans, the Noldors, showed a strange attraction to arcane knowledge, and many of them listened to his teachings. To make himself look better in the eyes of Noldor, Melkor spread lies that great craftsman of the Noldor, Feanor, took lessons from him and under his supervision performed his best work. These rumors greatly affected Feanor, as he always acted on his own, not asking anyone for help or advice. No one among the elves hated Melkor more than he did. Feanor wanted to create his magnum opus. He planned to preserve the life of two trees of Valinor, the glory of the Blessed Kingdoms. He put all his heart and knowledge into his work since then. He worked for many years until he finally created Silmarils, three magnificent jewels. They were formed from an unknown substance and resembled diamonds, but they were much harder. No force known in Aman could even scratch them. The inner fire of the Silmarils, created from the blending of the light of two trees, was constantly burning, and the crystal was to him only what their body was to the elves, a shell covering the interior. The Eldar and the Valar admired the work of Fëanor. When Melkor saw the Silmarils for the first time, he fell in love with their glow. He wanted them more than anything else in the world. From that moment on, he made Fëanor's life difficult. He wanted to make him away from the Valar and his clan. Over the years of his plotting, Melkor caused jealousy of the throne rights to arise between Fëanor and his stepbrother Fingolfin. For the first time in history, the Noldor set out to forge swords and spears. Soon everyone was ready to fight. Fëanor openly rebelled against the Valar, threatening to return to the Outer Realms and free all who would follow him. The Valar only reacted when Fëanor threatened his brother with a sword. Later, all of Melkor's lies came to light. Nonetheless, Fëanor and his sons were sentenced to a 12-year banishment from Tirion. With his sons, Fëanor went north where he built the fortress of Formenos. In the meantime, Melkor moved from place to place, constantly escaping the Valar. One day he came to the gates of Formenos and, pretending to be a friend, wanted to awaken rebellious thoughts in Fëanor. Initially, the elf hesitated to accept Melkor's offer, but as soon as Melkor mentioned the Silmarils, Fëanor was filled with hatred. He banished Melkor from his lands and cursed him. Melkor later went to a dark land called Avatar. There he formed an alliance with Ungoliant. Together they were to strike at the elves. Once again, Melkor took the form he used in the years before imprisoning. Black, huge and terrible form. The attack took place during the annual feast. Fëanor was also summoned there. The elf, however, was not dressed in ceremonial robes, nor did he honor the gathered with the sight of Silmarils. These rested deep in Formenos under the care of his sons, his father, and the other Noldor. Melkor and Ungoliant arrived at Telperion and Laurelin. Melkor pierced the tree trunks with a black spear, and Ungoliant sucked the light out of the wounds. Darkness and silence swept over Valinor. Manwe, seeing an impenetrable black cloud heading north, ordered a chase after Melkor. Soon after, the first envoys from Formenos arrived bringing tragic news. The darkness stopped over the castle. Melkor broke through the gates. Then he killed Feanor's father, king of the Noldor. Next, he destroyed the vault and stole the Silmarils. Feanor cursed him and called him Morgoth for the first time. To retrieve the Silmarils, Feanor later gathered the Noldor and persuaded them to go with him to Beleriand.